Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining the live tonight. This is just random as hell. I was supposed to be recording some YouTube videos, but had some technical difficulties, so instead decided to jump on here and do a live real quick. So while you're jumping on, tell me what city you're in. All right, shout out your city. I might be doing a tour this fall. We're waiting to see what's going to happen with some of these cities for, in regards to COVID or whatever. But like I said, just let me know what city you're in. I'll be answering some questions tonight and possibly bringing some of y'all up into the live. All right, so let me see here. All right, so let's see. All right, whenever y'all ready, y'all can start spitting out your questions. Like I said, I rarely do this. So this is your chance to ask me whatever you want to ask. Feel free. Shout out to Miami. Shout out to Denver, New York, LA. I see Miami again. If I do the tour, Miami's definitely going to be on the list. That's my hometown, so I always stop in Miami. Let's see what we got going on here. So like I said, when y'all ready to start asking your questions, and I'm asking. Oh, and by the way, I am opening up 20 spots to my special monthly coaching program. It is for women. I've been saying it for the longest. I'm gonna create one for men, but it's been a problem so far. But anyways, if you want to join, you can go to receivingmyblessings.com or DM me to get one of the 20 spots. DM or message me for one of the 20 spots, and I'll send you the link. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna answer this question. The question says, "Why are you single?" So the honest answer is, I'm waiting. I'm trying to trust God the same way I tell y'all to. You know what I'm saying? There's a process. There's preparation. And to keep it real, for me, there's a lot more I have to consider with who I get in a relationship with, and it has to be an example of what I speak, what I preach to people, and it has to be someone who aligns with my purpose. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just something that I gotta wait till the time is right. It's not always about when we want it. It's about when it's best, when God knows it's time for it. So for me, I'm doing what I tell y'all to do. Be patient, prepare, trust the process. You know what I'm saying? And in that time, at some point it will come, and I trust that it will come when God deems it time for it, so I'm not sweating it. Do men get turned off if the girl initiated first? Not if he's actually interested in you. Like that's like y'all gotta think about it from the perspective of, as a woman, you might get DMs, and let's say 10 dudes DM you, "Hey, beautiful," right? And none of those dudes you're not attracted to or you're not interested in. You might look at it as thirsty, you might be turned off by it, you might be annoyed. But if one of those men you actually have interest in, you're going to view his attempt differently. So if a man is turned off by a woman who initiated first, chances are he just wasn't interested to begin with. But when he gets a woman he's actually interested in or is attracted to that initiates, he's not likely to be turned off by that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it really just depends on the person's interest. I'm going to answer this. Do you believe God's plan is for everyone to end up with a partner? So I do believe there are some people who are meant to be single. But the thing that I don't like with a lot of people is that some of y'all are assuming that's you because things ain't work out for you. And it's like, yo, like, don't assume you're supposed to be single because things have not played out the way that you want them to, because you're not meeting any people that you like. That it might just not be time for it. So I do believe that if you're meant to be single, you'll find peace in it. You'll be happy with it. And also understand, like, I see people saying, well, relationships ain't for everybody. But you still messing with someone on the side. So you still engaging in relationships. You're just not in a committed one. So someone who's genuinely built to be single and genuinely finds peace in being single ain't dealing with no situationship. They're not doing no in between. So if you're still entertaining the in between, that means you still want companionship. Chances are you do deep inside want a relationship, but again, you may have a negative outlook on it. So you've deemed it like, oh well, nah, maybe I'm just meant to stay single. Nah, don't play yourself. Be honest about what you desire. But again, from a spiritual perspective, talk to God, pray about it. If you can feel after praying that God is telling you that's for you, all right, cool. But don't make that assumption. Let's see. Oh, I'm a respond to this. This one says her boyfriend broke up with her because he said she works too much. All right, so I'm just gonna be very honest. Number one, if he's telling you you work too much, I hope this is a man who's paying bills and gonna provide for you, because I don't understand him wanting you to not work if he does not want to provide. Now, let's just go off the premise that this is a man who's cool with providing, who's able to provide. I can tell you that this is more common than you may realize, where men who have the resources, all right, do desire their partner to be more available to them. And when she's not, and when work is a priority, that can be an issue. I'm gonna be very transparent. I'm kind of one of those guys, whereas I'm completely okay with taking care of all the bills. That's not an issue for me. I don't see it as a problem. Not saying every man has to pay all the bills or all that. You know, everybody got to make their choice on what they're comfortable with. The way I'm wired, the way I was raised, I'm cool with fully providing. And I'm not saying that I have an issue with the woman wanting to work or working, but I do not want the job to be priority over the household and the relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, if you don't, unless you are truly working at a job that is your purpose, then that's the one caveat that's like, all right, I'm not gonna take you away from your purpose. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just doing this job because you want to make your own money, or you want to make some extra money, or you just want to contribute, whatever, again, as long as it doesn't become a priority over the household, the relationship, if we eventually have kids, all right, cool, do what you got to do. If you can find that balance, I'm cool with it. But to me, I'm not going to accept you putting me, the relationship, the kids on the back burner when I'm fully prepared to take care of everything. It's like, why? Why are you adding this unnecessary stress? Why are you making things more difficult? And the reality is that for a lot of women, some of y'all fear trusting letting a man take care of you. So you hold on to that job as this level of protection. But it's like if you're in a relationship with someone who you love, and someone I would hope you prayed about you should be with, then you've got to be willing to find that balance that doesn't interfere. Now, with your specific situation, I don't know what all the details were, but I can say that this does happen. But don't get discouraged. Number one, is he even the guy for you? Because if he's not, then it's pointless to try to work things out. But if he is, if you do feel like you guys had something and maybe you were putting priority at the job instead of the relationship, and again, he is willing to provide and take care of you, then it's something to consider. If you can find some kind of middle ground, maybe go part-time or whatever to make the whole thing work. Let's see here. I'm seeing a lot of questions, so I'm just trying to find a good one. So my apologies if I take a little time. Again, opening up 20 spots to my special coaching program. If you are interested, go to receivingmyblessings.com, or you can DM me and I will send you the link. I'm opening up 20 spots. Let's see. Would you agree that a man only wants to sleep with you if he pushes up on you on the first date like a dog in heat? Nah, that doesn't necessarily mean he only wants to sleep with you. I do think it's possible for a man to have genuine interest, But during that, even the first date, yeah, he it is possible for him to maybe push the envelope. Maybe he saw an opening. Maybe he thought the energy was there, the vibe was there. But that doesn't mean that's all he wanted from you. So we can't say that. Now, I do think that if he pushes up on you, you tell him, nah, I'm not ready for that. We're not doing that. And now he seems to back off as far as like his effort, and he's not showing you the same type of desire and intention. All right, then we can say, yo, he was only interested in sex. But the simple attempt of it doesn't define flat out like that was his only interest. Let's see. Uh, can you still meet someone organically? Yeah, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. I do think people aren't. Listen, we live in a time where meeting in person is not as easy anymore. We live at a time where less people are going to a job physically, and jobs used to be a great or a common place for people to meet. And so people aren't utilizing online, social media, dating apps, whatever. And I know some of y'all may not be feeling that, but the reality is that it is a tool, and it is something to be mindful of if you want to create more opportunities for yourself to meet people and to date. You got to consider what you're doing with your online profiles, whether that be on dating apps or your social media, because a lot of people can meet randomly online. You know what I'm saying? And I think people should be open to that, because there's a lot of people who found their future husband, future wife through social media. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. This person says, I feel like crap because I prejudged a guy and my fear pushed him away. So that's a common thing that happens where, listen, that this is why as people, not just women, but as people, you got to heal. Because when you don't heal, that's what happens. Your fears get in the way. They end up sabotaging situations where things could have been good. And we got to learn how not to just cut people off or jump to conclusions. Address the issue. Talk to the person. You know, state your case. Let them know what you're feeling, what you're seeing, how you're perceiving things. And then if it can't get corrected, all right, cool. Then you move on and you let them go. But we got to stop jumping to conclusions and pouring negativity into situations without giving anybody the opportunity to correct things. Let's see here. Oh, and the person who asked earlier about, or who mentioned the guy who broke up with her because she works too much, she said he didn't help with the bills at all. All right, so I can't support that man. I don't understand what his logic was. If he's not trying to help you with the bills, then I don't understand what his issue with you working. Like that just doesn't make any sense. You know, so I do think that he's on some other stuff that just probably wasn't going to work. Let's see here. All right, so this question says, how do you approach a high value man when you feel like you're still working on yourself? She asks because the guy she's interested in is more advanced in his spiritual faith, and you don't want to turn him off. All right, so one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of women get in their own heads, and they start penalizing themselves for things that the guy may not even care about, or the guy may not judge you for or hold over your head. So it's like, all right, you're still working yourself, good. or maybe you're not where you want to be spiritually. All right, understood. But that doesn't mean he's gonna hold that against you. Like your value is more than where you are specifically right now. It's also where you're headed. You know what I'm saying? And I do think that a man, especially if he's evolved, he can see where you're going. It's the same way like as a woman, if you're dating a dude, it's one thing to date a broke man who's lazy and ain't doing nothing with himself versus a man who's working hard, who's striving, grinding, pushing for more. You see his ethic, you see his character, and you realize, all right, he may not be there right now, but I see where he's going. And so now it's easier for you to embrace him, and even if he's not even where he wants to be at the moment. So I think that as a woman, like don't get in your own head and sabotage yourself. Let that man determine for himself if he can accept you where you are, or maybe more time is needed. And maybe simply him knowing you have interest, if he does as well, could mean, all right, maybe we can't get together right now, but now that we're aware of what's going on, we can work towards things. We can put a pin in it, so to speak, and maybe reconnect later when things are at a better place. Let's see. For those asking if I'm gonna save the live, I'll save it, but it won't be on Instagram. I'm gonna post it on my YouTube, so you can see it on the YouTube, the replay. Uh, let's see. All right, this person says this guy she was talking to said he had to slow things down. That she was getting too emotional. He just wants to get to know her. Said he's just going to chill for now. What does a man mean by chilling? All right, so you got when a man tells you something like that, or a person, man, woman, whoever, y'all need to ask them what their definition is, because everybody doesn't always have the same definition of chilling. Everybody may view that differently. Chilling to him might be a situation shit. It might be, all right, he still wants to sleep with you, and y'all still talk, but he doesn't want a commitment or an obligation. To someone else, chilling might be completely falling back, whereas there is no dating, there is no communication right now. Somebody else, it might be, all right, we keep in touch here and there, but again, nothing serious, and he's not speaking, he's not expecting anything of you past that. So you got to ask that individual what they mean by chilling, because again, that's where a lot of confusion comes in, where people try to analyze and assume without simply asking that person. Let them tell you, so you know where they're coming from, how they see things. And then if you want to work with that, all right, cool. If you don't, you let it go, you keep it moving. Let's see. Is having kids a turn off for men? So I think, like, there are people out there who don't want somebody with kids. There are plenty of people out there who don't mind someone who has kids. So it's really based on the individual. I do think, if I'm gonna be real here, I do think that it's less about the kids and more about the situation surrounding the kids, and also about the value that you bring to the table outside of the kids. So it's like, yo, if somebody isn't, again, let's say you meet a guy and they got kids, but it's not that they just have kids. They got a crazy baby mother. They already not financially stable. The child support is like to the point that due to their financial standing, they're unable to now provide for you in the relationship to where you might carry a bigger burden. So you see how I'm adding these circumstances that it started with they had a kid, but it's really about all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, if everything else is on point, but they just have a kid, I would argue that a lot of people, even some of the people who say they don't want that, would be willing to consider it. They would at least give it a second thought. But if the kid is gonna come with drama and nonsense and other issues, then yeah, there's a lot of people who don't want to bother with that. So, I don't think anyone should think, oh, just having a kid by themselves, having a kid alone means you're not going to be qualified for a relationship with people. Nah. And there are some individuals who, again, just don't care, or there's even some people who prefer people who have a kid for various reasons. You know what I'm saying? I know of men who have said they prefer a woman with a child. They like I guess they have had experiences with women who have kids where they're more mature, they're more motherly, they know how to take care of the household better in their eyes, and so that appeals to them. Let's see. All right, this one says, my girl doesn't communicate, and I try to work it out with her, but we ended up with the same result. Any advice? All right, so listen, number one, I'm sorry to hear that you're dealing with that, but all you can do is attempt to address it in a healthy manner. If that isn't working, the only other attempt to make is counseling. You know what I'm saying? And now some people might say, well, we're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Why are we going to counseling? Listen, ain't nothing wrong with going to counseling, even as boyfriend and girlfriend. At the end of the day, counseling is about having a third party help you resolve issues. So you can suggest that. And if she's still not willing to go to counseling with you to resolve the issue and get to the bottom of this, then unfortunately you got to let her go. You can't tolerate or accept someone who's unwilling to communicate, because that's only going to turn into bigger issues later. You know what I'm saying? You might think you could deal with it now, but you're gonna start resenting the situation or resenting her. It's gonna start to create more negative energy in the relationship, and it's going to really throw things off. So again, address it, suggest counseling, and if none of that works, then you must let her go. Let's see. Man, there's a lot coming on here. How do you keep peace within yourself during a relationship? All right, so I guess what's coming to mind is like what's causing the lack of peace to begin with? Is the issue that there are things in the relationship that are happening that are causing you not to be at peace? Or do you have a lack of peace outside of that? Maybe family, work, maybe your past. So without knowing, I'm just gonna say, listen, you got to make sure you heal, because when you don't heal, you are more than likely not gonna have peace in a relationship. All right. You also have to make sure that you have balance in the relationship. Like, listen, relationships are about two people pouring into each other, and we have to embrace each other's needs and desires. However, you can't forget about you, and you still have to pour into yourself as well. So you want to create balance that allows you to have this relationship, pour into your partner, but have some me time. Have some time where you treat yourself. Make sure you can make yourself happy, because you can't just put the responsibility of your happiness only on your partner. Again, it doesn't mean they're not supposed to do their part in order to put a smile on your face, but it cannot be their sole responsibility. And so when you can have happiness regardless of them, and they're a bonus, they're a magnifier of happiness, then I think you'll have more peace in that relationship, as well as, again, healing from your past. Let's see. What are characteristics you find attractive in a woman? So, okay, I'm assuming you asking me personally, what are characteristics I find attractive? For me, feminine energy is very important, very attractive. Something that I talk about all the time and encourage women to tap into. So I love a woman who embraces her femininity, you know what I'm saying, and walks in that. Uh, I think also someone who can be positive. You know, I think we already got enough negativity in this world. I don't want a negative partner. I don't want to deal with that. So when she can be positive and loving, which kind of connects with the femininity, I think that's a great thing. Um, Now for me, someone who has a balance when it comes to, I guess, knowing how to have fun, but knowing how to, I don't want to say be conservative because I'm really not as conservative as people may think. So I don't want to use the word conservative. But at the same time, I guess knows how to carry herself in different environments. I think that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know how the memes where it says you got get a woman that can do both. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that. You got to have balance. And I think for the men listening, it's important as well to have balance. Like yo, be a guy who can carry himself in different situations, who is a good man, but you know, exudes that masculine energy, have that balance, be that guy who could do both. I think that always appeals to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's the main things that's coming to mind. I'm sure there's other stuff, but those are the main things I would say that I find very attractive, and takes care of themselves. I'm very into taking care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? They may not have to be on the same level as me, so to speak, but at the very least, care about how you look and enjoy, you know what I'm saying, looking good. I think that's important. I think keeping up physical attraction in a relationship is extremely important for the success of the relationship. So someone who pours into that is very attractive in my opinion. Let's see here. All right, why do some people go from relationship to relationship without taking a break? Because they're trying to distract themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like that saying, to get over someone, you should get under someone, which is horrible advice. You know what I'm saying? I do not encourage that at all. But a lot of people do that because it distracts them. It helps make it easier for them to deal with the breakup, to ignore the pain, to ignore the issues that they may be holding on to, because the reality is that healing can be tough. A lot of people are afraid to face the pain they have to face to heal. And so instead, they'll bury themselves in another relationship, they'll bury themselves in work, they'll bury themselves into their kids. There's various things. Some people hide behind God. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that people use as a coping mechanism rather than just facing the issues and actually healing. So that's one of the biggest reasons why people jump from relationship to relationship. And then some, I hate to say it, but some already had that relationship on the side the whole time. So it was just a quick transition anyway. Let's see. Would I be with someone who has kids? Listen, I would be with whoever I have a connection with, and so if that means kids, so be it. No kids, so be it. Whatever it is, so be it. My priority and what I encourage people to do is focus on the connection, because to me, if there's a real genuine connection there, everything else can be worked out. You know, kids is not necessarily a deterrent. Um, yeah, I just think at the end of the day, it's all about connection first and foremost. So I would be open to it at the very least. Let's see. Why do people go ghost? People go ghost because it's easier to disappear than it is to tell somebody you're no longer interested, or to tell somebody you don't have the energy to put into the situation anymore, or to tell somebody their ex came back in their life, or whatever the case may be. People have a hard time facing the other, and a lot of people don't want to be the bad guy, even though, yeah, when you ghost you kind of end up being the bad guy, but it's easier to just run away from it than to have to face the situation and have a deep conversation, and you might be concerned about how the person's going to react and all these different things. So it's like, it's just easier to ghost. Not saying it's right and it's okay, but that's why a lot of people do it. And just real quick, thank you for everybody joining the live and asking questions. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, there's a lot of questions here, so trying to go through it. How long should you date a person before introducing them to the kids? All right, so me personally, what I encourage people is you don't introduce anyone to the kids until you and that person know you are ready and willing to move forward into a committed relationship. Like, there's no reason to involve the kids when y'all don't even know where y'all trying to go with each other with this relationship, with this situation. Because that's how you can create a situation where there's a revolving door, or where, the kids can end up getting attached to someone who doesn't belong in your life. People can also use your kids as leverage to gain a space in your life. So there's a lot of risk you take introducing the kids too early. And for those who say, well, they need to meet the kids so you can see if they get along. No, they don't, because your kids are kids. They're not here to decide who your partner is going to be. If you find someone that you're truly, genuinely happy with and genuinely have a connection with, trust, everything else can be worked out. But to put the decision on the children when you don't understand what may be the motivation behind why they even like one person. Like, I've seen some kids say, oh, I like this person because that person gave them a gift, or that person was letting them get away with doing certain things. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the other person may have been more of a disciplinarian and they didn't appreciate that. So they were like, nah, we're going to get them out of here. So it's like, you got to understand, they're still children. They're not mature enough to have to be making those kind of decisions for you. They have to respect what you decide. You know what I'm saying? And you have to make sure that, yes, of course, you're bringing someone into their life that genuinely loves you. Because I say, if they genuinely love you, they'll genuinely be willing or will love your kids. You know what I'm saying? So focus on that and making sure you guys have a real connection and that you guys can move forward together. Let's see here. Does an age difference matter? So I'm one of those people who don't think age should be the issue. Again, I sound like a broken record, but to me, it's all about connection. Now, of course, you got to keep it legal. I'm not co-signing anything that's illegal, but outside of that, I've seen situations where it's older woman, younger man, work out, get married, have an amazing relationship, as well as older man, younger woman. I think it's all about, again, connection, two people being on the same page, two people being willing to embrace each other's needs and desires. If all that is needed for success is there, then the age should not be a deterrent. You know what I'm saying? I think too many people put a little too much of an emphasis on that rather than the actual depth of the relationship, the actual qualities, the actual, again, connection and things of that nature. Like, focus on that more than anything. Let's see here. Someone says, so you're a traditional man. When it comes to the protecting and providing part, yeah. Uh, uh, you know what? I don't know what all traditional entails for some people. So I want to be careful with saying flat out I'm a traditional man. But I will say from the perspective of, or the aspect of protecting and providing, yes, that is the tradition I'm willing to uphold and embrace. I do believe in that. Let's see here. Does she have to be vegan or plant based? So, all right, for those of y'all who don't know, I am plant based, right? And it's tough because I don't want to say she has to be plant based, as long as she can respect my plant based lifestyle. Then I guess we can be good. You know what I'm saying? And I'll just have to respect her non-plant based lifestyle. Would it be nice if she was plant based too? Of course. But again, like I can't see myself not being with a woman for that one reason. Like, as long as she's still into taking care of herself, that to me is not really negotiable. You got to be willing to take care of yourself. But the plant-based thing, like I said, and I know, like, it ain't easy all the time to go from eating meat and all that to going plant-based. It took me a minute to transition. So I understand I can't expect everyone to be there. So I think I'm flexible with that. Let's see. Would you date a woman that smokes weed? Let me see what else it says. Let's say she has a good balance, smokes once on the weekend, but continues to adult the next day with life. Weed is not a deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker. As long as you're not a junkie with it, I think we're good. You know what I'm saying? So the scenario you said, once a week, whatever, that's not a big deal. Yeah, weed is not a deal breaker whatsoever. Let's see. What is my deal breaker? The first thing that comes to mind is just negativity. I don't tolerate negative energy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you can't figure out how to get that under control, we're just not gonna work. So again, it doesn't mean you won't have a negative moment. It doesn't mean you won't pop off sometimes. I get it. We all have our days and our moments or whatever. But if you are just a negative person, if that's just your consistent energy, that's a deal breaker. We're not gonna work. Let's see here. Man, these questions are moving super fast. Is there such a thing as right person, wrong time? Yeah, I believe that 100%. Um, I believe a lot of people have met the right person at the wrong time. And, there's some people who will say, well, nah, if it's the wrong time, that means it's not the right person. That's just not true. A lot of individuals cross paths at a time where they haven't fully evolved, where maybe they haven't addressed past issues, where they haven't yet set themselves up for success or to be able to embrace that person that they can have that relationship with or they have a connection with. A lot of people have met the person they have a connection with and ran, sabotaged it, or mishandled it. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't mean they're the wrong person. It's just we're human beings. And unfortunately, everyone was not taught how to have a healthy relationship. A lot of people don't understand how to handle feelings that strong. When you have someone that you have a connection with, and when it's that deep, that can be scary for a lot of people. So you absolutely can meet someone, they're that person, they're the one, but it's just not time yet. And it's not just that they need to work on themselves. There's some things you need to do, whether you realize it or not. You got to get ready, and you may not realize there's some blind spots in your life you need to cover and you need to take care of and get yourself on the right track. Let's see here. Someone said they don't agree with the age thing. They're not dating a 21-year-old. They're 33. Listen, in most situations, yeah, 33 and 21, if you're the woman who's 33 and the man's 21, is that an ideal situation in most cases? Nah, but again, it's like, just consider for a second, you go out somewhere, you meet a man, let's say you're out of the lounge, and this man is everything you could ask for. He's mature, he's stable, he can provide, everything you could ask for. And he's of the mindset that wants a serious relationship. And then you find out how old he is. The only thing that changed will be your perception of the dynamics of age. If everything else is in place, then why would we let the age deter us? Now, again, it is hard, or it is less likely to be able to have that connection and be on the same page with that kind of age gap, or with a man who's at the age of 21. I think we can all acknowledge that it's less likely. But again, if it were to happen technically, then like why reject that? I've seen 15-year age differences. One that comes to mind, the guy was 27, the woman was 42, and they end up getting married, and they had a great relationship. But sometimes it's not that big of a gap. I've seen a 7-year gap where they got married and have an amazing marriage. The man is 7 years younger. So again, it can happen. I'm just saying we shouldn't just automatically reject it just based off our perceptions of age. And more importantly, we should just focus on the individual, and if they are who we can have a real relationship with. Let's see here. Why do men think beautiful women will cheat? Um, because beautiful women have tons of options. Like, to be plain and simple, it's just that men know that beautiful women have men coming at them all the time. And so, and whether women realize it or not, a lot of men have been cheated on. A lot of men have seen situations play out that way, especially when it comes to, if the man is not financially stable or not where he wants to be financially. A lot of men have the fear because they know that beautiful woman is not only being approached by men, but very likely in today's world, getting approached by men with more resources and money. And so a lot of people have at least heard stories of women still cheating on that guy with the rich guy. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying all women will do it, and I don't think men should think that way automatically. You got to give that person you're with the benefit of the doubt, or let them show you who they are. But that's the reason why some dudes think like that. Let's see here. Someone asked, do I drink? You don't hear me talk about alcohol. It could be a gray area for Christians. All right. So I was literally just at a club this past weekend and I had drinks. So I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, I don't, I'm not a regular drinker at home or nothing like that. But if I go out, yeah, I'll have a drink. And I do go out from time to time. So to me, there's nothing wrong with that. And maybe I don't know if that's wrong of me, as a man of God or whatever. But to me, the issue isn't drinking; it's getting wasted and getting yourself into trouble. You know what I'm saying? But nice little buzz, and you can still think straight and make sure you don't do nothing you shouldn't be doing. I think it's fine. I mean, at least personally. So for me, it wouldn't be an issue, and it damn sure wouldn't be an issue with someone who I'm talking to or whatever. So yeah, I do drink if I'm out or in a social setting. Let's see. Can a toxic relationship be fixed? Yes, if both parties are willing to get the help, address the issues, and put in the work to correct the issues. As long as that's there, then yes, it can be fixed. The problem is in a lot of toxic relationships, you have at least one person who's unwilling to face the issues. You have at least one person, in many cases or most cases, who's unwilling to do the work. You cannot fix the toxic relationship by yourself. You can't do it alone. But if we're able to get on the same page and we both want to make this work, and let's just say two people both grew up in dysfunctional households, but they love each other and they do see that there's a problem here that they're willing to fix, then okay, cool. But again, got to be willing to put in the work. So let's see here. If I wasn't a dating coach, what would I be? That's a damn good question. That's a really good question. I'm not even sure anymore. My degree was in IT, Management Information Systems. And once upon a time, I actually wanted to be a sports coach. Uh, Knowing me and my entrepreneurial spirit, I'd probably be an investor. I'd probably be, and I still do investing now. Like, what I do is not the only thing I do. I've diversified my businesses. I have other businesses as well. But yeah, I'd probably just be doing that just without the dating stuff. So I'd probably just be investing, opening different businesses. I like to work, or at least I like to face challenges and conquer things. That's in my blood. So I'd probably find something to do one way or another. But working for someone was never really my thing. Even though I did when I was younger, it's like, nah, I'm best running my own business. Let's see here. I gotta read this real quick. This is a good example. This person says her brother and his wife were engaged after college, broke up for almost 10 years. They grew up, meaning they got themselves together, and now they've been married to each other for now over 15 years. Perfect example of right person, wrong time. Again, sometimes people don't get it right the first time around. Sometimes people need some life lessons and some evolving before they can really come together with the person who's truly for them. Let's see. Uh, do do men date women to help them financially? I guess what you're asking is like, do men go in with the intention to help? So there are some men who are cool with providing for a woman, who don't mind spending money on a woman, and so they don't have a problem helping her financially. I won't say that's the intent from the jump. Like I'm not gonna say the men are looking for a woman they can help financially. I would say some men are. Some men do have that kind of a mindset for various reasons, but there are plenty of men out there who do not mind paying the bills, being a provider, all that type of stuff. They're cool with that. Of course, we live at a time where there's a lot more people talking about 50-50 and all this. I don't believe in 50-50, and I don't encourage it. And the reason why is because, I'm eventually gonna drop a YouTube video about this because it deserves a lot of breaking down and explanation. Because I think when people hear the whole providing or 50-50, they think it's about like being traditional, not true. Nah, I look at it from a deeper perspective. So anyway, to get to the point, I'm not a big fan of 50-50 because, for one, when it's very rare for the 50-50 to actually happen consistently over time. Meaning, one, if for example, the guy's making 80 grand, the woman's making 40 grand, right? And they're splitting the bills. That's not 50-50 to me. That's not actually equal. What would be equal is if they said, all right, we're going to take 20% of the man's income, 20% of the woman's income, and put that in. So now you're both making an equal contribution based off of the income you produce, rather than saying, all right, well, she got to pay 500 and he's paying 500, but he makes double what she makes, or vice versa. That, to me, that's not real 50-50. Also, whenever you do 50-50 relationships, a lot of times it does not stay 50-50. At some point, someone ends up carrying the burden of the relationship, whether it be financially or whether it be the overall structure. So like, let's say it's 50-50 bills and y'all saying 50-50 chores or whatever, right? At some point, one person's going to be doing more work than the other. Plain and simple. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, in most cases, it's the woman. In most cases. It does happen with the man sometimes, but in most cases, it's the woman. So again, it doesn't actually remain 50-50. Then you got the problem where the 50-50 speaks to deeper issues in a lot of cases. Not everyone. Sometimes it may be a necessary structure due to where they are both at financially. Okay, so there are exceptions to the rule. But a lot of times, and this is just one example, some women want 50-50 because they view it as a method of safety and protection. Well, I don't want to rely on no man. I don't want him to think he has any power over me. She's projecting a lot of negativity. The man sometimes is using 50-50 because he just don't want to provide for you like that. And I will say this, and I do believe this wholeheartedly. No man who got it, and I'm saying this man has money, can provide, it wouldn't be a problem for him. No man who's got it and is going to make you pay 50-50 unless he's just not into you like that. He ain't really in love with you. I've never seen a man personally, and in all my years of doing this, I've never seen a man who has it, who is fully able to provide and yet is requiring 50-50 from his partner who he says he's in love with. Nah, it may be 70-30. Hell, it might be 60-40. It ain't 50-50. So, and again, there's a lot to break down and explain, but nah, I don't believe in the 50-50. I see some people asking my zodiac sign. I am a Sagittarius, for those of y'all who follow zodiac signs. Oh, my bad. Damn, what am I doing here? All right, let's see. I did something wrong here. So I'm having. Oh, okay, there we go. I was like, could not see some of these questions or comments. I will be posting the replay on YouTube, so this will be available on YouTube. And let me say this. You know what? Let me just say this about the whole 50-50 thing again. So I actually was just the other day talking to a man who is providing for his woman, is paying all the bills, all right? But they're having some issues because there was one other thing that she wanted from him that was where he drew the line, all right? And when I sat with him, he was like, do you think I'm wrong? I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to expose that specific story. But he was asking me like, do you think it's wrong of me to not want to get her this thing, even though he already pays for everything else? And I told him, I said, listen, I don't have a problem with providing fully or encouraging a man to provide fully. My only concern is this woman pouring back into you what you need? All right. So again, it's all about balance. It's all about we both need to be given to each other. When people say we have to be a team, yes, a team doesn't mean we have to do the same exact thing. A team does not mean we both have to be giving money, all right? It could be, all right, well, she handles these things for the sake of the team, and I handle the finances for the sake of the team. That can still be balanced. That can still be a two-way contribution. But at the end of the day, she does have to be pouring into him what he needs. Now, in this specific situation, he was not getting what he needs. In that case, you might have to let her behind go. Like, again, I'm all for taking care of things, but that doesn't mean get taken advantage of. That doesn't mean that you should accept, even as a man, a woman who is not willing to do her part. And again, her part is not defined by equal finances or equal this or equal. No, it's just, all right, what do you need? What does she need? What's going to make you happy? What's going to make her happy? Are y'all both pouring into each other what y'all desire and need? If so, all right, you're good. If not, we got a problem. It can't be one-sided. So we flip it. If the woman's doing everything the man needs, but he's not stepping up and doing what she needs, which, now that I think about it, I had another situation a couple months ago where the woman was cooking, cleaning, and hell, at one point, she was actually paying more of the bills. And I'm like, what are you doing? So what is this man doing for you? He ain't doing a damn thing for you. He's barely contributing to the bills. And then he doesn't even pick up the slack in other areas. And that's the thing. All right, if you are not in a financial position to provide, cool, because that's going to happen. Not everybody is successful at the moment or rich or whatever, right? But you got to figure out, how can I lessen the burden of my partner? How can I still provide for them? Providing can go beyond finances, all right? So at the very least, if you are not in the financial position to provide, then look for other ways to still be an asset. That's the whole thing. Men and women have to say, okay, how can I be an asset to my partner, not simply a liability? You know what I'm saying? So if they're going to be taking care of this, what can I take care of in return? What can I do that makes their life a little bit easier and puts a smile on their face? And if we can get on the same page and embrace that, then we good and we can have a great relationship. So anyways, that's going to be it for tonight. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I will be posting the live on YouTube. Also, if you want to join my coaching program, DM me or go to receivingmyblessings.com. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining me tonight. I will try to do this a little bit more often, but I can't make any promises. But either way, have a blessed night, and I'll see y'all next time.